Hello there folks, welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash and I am your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. Welcome back to one of my quickfire Q&A video sessions where I take the opportunity to respond to a comment or question which has come to me through a viewer or subscriber in the medium of a video response. If you want to get me to answer one of your questions, just drop that question in and who knows, I might make a video response to answer your Q&A. So today's question comes from David Willis and this is what he says. Thank you for your videos. I actually don't understand why people don't enjoy the simple pleasure of looking after their footwear and other leather items. Well, I absolutely agree with you there. It is a cathartic and enjoyable experience, nourishing the leather and looking after something which will look after you for decades if you put the effort in. One question I have is, have you ever done a video on how to store your footwear? I am presently building a shoe storage closet for a few dozen well-liked pairs of shoes and boots, and I've looked at many ideas over the years. Did you build something yourself or have someone build one for you? Well, you make a very good question there, and I haven't had anything built specially. For me, I take a simple route. So I've got a fairly large collection of shoes, maybe a couple of dozen, as you have by the sound of it, and mine tend to fall into one of two categories. All right, so when it comes to storage, you'll understand what I'm saying. I have shoes which I wear in the summertime and shoes and boots which I wear in the winter time. They are different to each other because it's important to know for a start, I live in the United Kingdom, all right, which is a temperate climate. Today it's 25, 28 degrees Celsius. It's a warm summer's day. In 6 months' time, it might be -2 degrees. Now, we don't have huge swings of temperature, as you may do in other countries. We have a temperate climate here in the UK. That's why it's so wonderful and green behind me. We don't get much snow. We don't get much extreme heat. We have this wonderful, happy medium, which I wouldn't live anywhere else, having lived in many other places. It's great to have 4 seasons and interesting weather. But that means my footwear has to reflect the climate in which I live. In the summertime, many of my shoes and boots have leather soles. I like a leather sole. Leather sole is most stylish, it's more chic. Absolutely, I think it looks the best on a pair of shoes. However, it has some disadvantages. In the winter time, if leather is repeatedly exposed to the wet, it's going to break down because it repeatedly dries and gets wet, dries and gets wet. That's going to be damaging to the fibers of the leather. The other thing is simply walking around in a pair of leather sole shoes on a wet day on, say, for instance, slippery pavement or icy pavement, you know, it is tantamount to taking your life in your hands because you're going to end up on your ass at some point when you slip and fall. And if you're lucky, you don't hurt yourself. So in the winter time, I transition over to shoes which have predominantly rubber soles, day-night soles, Vibram soles, or other forms of rubber soles because they make the best companions in the damp and the cold. The other thing that leather ain't so good at is insulating your foot from the cold, whereas say a Vibram sole, it's impervious, it's made of rubber, it ain't going to let the water through. It's also very good at insulating your foot from the cold. So I have 2 lots of types of shoes, and whichever season I'm in, so it's summertime, in my wardrobe at the moment, it's all my leather soled shoes. All my rubber soled shoes are all in specially purchased storage cases, which I bought from IKEA actually at a very modest price. I think they come in like batches of 4 for, I don't know, 10, 12 pounds, something like that. They come in these nice cases. They have a mesh front. I'm going to throw a picture up here so you can see what I'm talking about, so that the shoe is still allowed the privilege of being able to breathe naturally while it's in storage. And I keep them, you know, in my bedroom at an ambient temperature on top of my wardrobe, in fact, so they're not tucked away somewhere cold or exposed to the wet. They're in good conditions. They're just not in use. They're stored. When they're back in season, they come down and there's a rotation. My winter shoes will come out, my summer shoes will go back into storage, and that's how I operate my shoe rotation. Now, whilst they're in rotation, whilst they're in use, I probably have about a dozen to 15 pairs that I'm wearing at any given time. It sounds exorbitant in the amount, but the truth is, as you will know if you follow my channel, most of these shoes have been purchased at a very cut down price from places like eBay, places like that. So they're very modest, and I've I've brought them on the journey with me. But I store them at the bottom of my wardrobe in or on some metal racking. The metal racking is important because it allows the shoe to rest with air getting to the sole, to allow the sole, if it is damp, if there is dampness or wet got into the shoe, it allows it to evaporate without being in contact, without stopping the evaporation because it's in contact with something solid. So I put it on those metal racks. Of course, it goes without saying, I know you will already know this, but I want to reiterate it. All of your shoes should have a shoe tree within, all right? This is fundamentally, for me, the most important thing about shoe storage. Before I worry at all about where I'm storing my shoes, I make sure I have a pair of shoe trees for each pair of shoes in my collection. And they will be cedar wooden shoe trees just like this. Cedar is a wonderfully aromatic wood which imparts that lovely fragrance inside the shoe, but most importantly it keeps the shoe in shape, because whilst it's placed in the shoe, it keeps the shoe in the condition it's meant to be in its fullest shape and size. And it also, because of the wooden porous material that the shoe tree is made of, it helps to wick away any moisture which is inside the shoe. Before I do anything, all right, and a shoe tree might cost 10, 12, 15 pounds. When I buy a new pair of shoes, I factor in the additional cost I'm going to be buying a pair of shoe trees for that shoe. That way, you've always got shoe trees in every shoe and your shoe is kept in the best possible condition. So mine are just kept in racks at the base of my wardrobe, easy to hand, and they do keep the shoe in the best condition I can place them. I actually put little dust covers over them sometimes, keep dust accumulating away. I tell you what though, I will show you an image. I did a Am I a Chap review the other day on a chap called Vic. Now Vic very generously sent some images of his wonderfully stylish wardrobe to me. And he also sent me an image of the way he stores his shoes, which I will share with you here. I'm sure Vic won't mind. It's all about sharing the knowledge and improving our journey to Chap Nirvana. And as you can see, Vic's shoes are here stored in a very nice storage location. All of the shoes have shoe trees in, and they're also stored on metal racks in a wooden compartment, so that those metal racks allow the shoe to breathe naturally, allows the leather, if it's a leather sole, to have exposure to the air and to allow the air to do its business, to evaporate any moisture from the shoe, keeping the shoe in good condition. The important thing though with this rack, when you open the wardrobe, you can see exactly what's there. You can see that all the shoes are nicely polished. You can see what colour they are. And if you're looking to decide on your ensemble, what shoes you're going to wear that day, you're looking there at your shoes and you think, okay, well, I'm going to go with that pair today because they've got a great shine on them and they're the perfect colour for my clothing. I think that this rack that Vic is using, it displays the shoe well. It allows the shoe to be kept in the best condition, dry, and it allows the moisture accumulation to dissipate because it's exposed to the air. It looks like it's in a wardrobe, so it's protected at an ambient temperature. I can think of no better way to store a pair of shoes than this. So there we go. I hope, David, that has been of some use. If you are building that shoe rack or shoe closet, by all means send me an image. I'd love to see it when you've completed it. If you have enjoyed the video, by all means give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, click the red button. If you'd like to support the channel, go ahead, buy us a coffee. You'll find the link to the Buy Me a Coffee page in the show notes below. And when you're down in the comment section, leave me a question and I'll try and turn it into a video response just for you. So until the next time, take care of yourselves, store your shoes with good thought, and they will last a long time. And I will see you again very soon.